Hey toy collectors, welcome to another super exciting, outrageous toy review. I'm actually in my basement at my hobby area, and I want to spruce up King Sphinx and Pumpkin Wrapper from the Power Rangers Lightning Collection. So I've decided to start with Pumpkin Wrapper. I feel like he might be a little easier. His face is a little bit more open. I'm going to try and just get the paint on the bottom and not really on the edges, I think, if that's possible. And it might be tricky, and this might scare me off. Out of my paint collections here, I've got Model Color Black from Vallejo, and I'm going to use that and a pretty fine brush. I've got a little blister package here that I use as a palette. Squeeze a little bit of paint out as needed. I'm going to use a pretty fine brush, and let's see what happens here. A bigger brush would make this a faster job, but also would probably increase my sloppiness. Alright, so I got a little black where I didn't want it. I'm cleaning out my brush, and I'm just going to try and liquefy that paint. Basically turn it into a wash. Thin it out so much it's not really noticeable anymore. Alright, so time for another round of cleanup here. A little on this lip here. Alright. I think the mouth looks pretty good. Now I'm going to go back in there and do his eyes. And now the other eye. This eye is going to be the trickiest because it's got the inner part. So I have to be a little bit even more careful as I'm painting. Using a really thin wash just to kind of highlight some of these edges, or not highlight, but kind of shadow up these edges just a hair. I think he looks great. Oh man, Hasbro, why didn't you do that? He looks phenomenal in my opinion. All right, I'm going to let Pumpkin Wrapper dry. So next up I've got King Sphinx. I want to paint his nose. I also want to paint the inside of his mouth. His mouth worries me a little bit. I'm going to try and do his mouth as a wash, I think, and paint the nose. But for his nose, let's just sneak in here with a little bit of black. Trying to be pretty careful. What do you think? I like that. All right, now I'm going to water down some black into basically a wash, and I'm going to hit these teeth, or the inside of his mouth area. I am worried that they're not going to stick at all. So there's a lot of chemicals used on toys, mold release and things like that. I mean, they did paint the guy, but using a really runny, watered-down paint sometimes sort of gets repelled from certain areas. And I don't see this paint sticking all that well to him right now. I am going to go with a little bit paintier paint here for the center part where it keeps running away, the high spot there. And so with a combination of sort of normal paint and really watered down paint, I think I did a pretty good job of getting in that mouth area. So I'm going to let these guys dry a little bit. So since we're in the basement, I'm checking out kind of what I call the cold storage area. This is bins of stuff that I don't display. A lot of my Power Rangers stuff is down here. So down here there's tubs. Here's the Mighty Morphin Imagine X stuff, which was a really fun line. There's some pop vinyls here, the White Ranger, Tiger Zord. Do I have Pumpkin Wrapper? There's the Pumpkin Wrapper pop. They painted his eyes and mouth. They didn't paint the inside of that one. I wonder if I shouldn't have painted that on my sample one out there that's drying. There's my King Sphinx. Yeah. So there's the 8-inch vinyl King Sphinx from back in the day. I love this dude. He's got his nose and his mouth painted. I really think these guys are a vast improvement over the way they were shipped. I'm pretty happy with the end result. Obviously, they're modified. They're not stock. Thanks for watching this super exciting, outrageous toy review. Make sure to like, subscribe, and check out my other videos.